Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host Ben, and joining me as always is my buddy Ian. How you doing, Ian?
Doing pretty good, sir.
Good, Ian. You get a peanut. And joining us again this week is our friend Kyle. How you doing, Kyle?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about you?
Oh, it's Monday. I'm not dead. I guess those are, two good things.
Can I have Kyle's peanut?
Ian, you're getting greedy again. Don't make me have to give you a pistachio instead.
Pistachios are probably better than peanuts.
Yeah.
I don't
I'll
know.
take a pistachio.
I don't know.
They're
Every
more
time
expensive too.
every time
So
I
if
see
we're
them,
gonna start selling our nuts.
Oh boy, it's that kind of show.
The pistachio.
Well, every time I've bought a pistachio, it was always like came with some sort of powered thing. Either it would be wasabi or some sort of like I don't know what this is on this pistachio. It's not right. So.
Well, I remember seeing that. It was an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where he was complaining about because they had like mixed pistachios and like raisins or whatever, and it was all raisins, and there was like only like 2 or 3 pistachios in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I've had that fun. My mom was eating like a bag of Chex Mix, and she's like, "Why do they put these things in them? They're horrible." I'm like, "Those are like the main thing I get them for." And she's like, "Oh, I've been throwing those away." I'm like, and then she got like a bag of them and dumped them in there too. And I'm like, "No, now you overdone it. It was good in proportion with everything else, but now it's just too much." So.
It's too much.
So, a lot of things have been going on since the last time we chatted. Kyle's been prepping for a wedding.
Yes.
And you also ran a marathon, and we saw the
I ran a
Aquabats.
marathon, and I saw the Aquabats. Yes.
Not exactly in that order. You want to...
Pretty close to that order. The marathon was the day before the Aquabats.
Yeah.
So that was sore.
I remember both you and your fiance were just like, okay, we're just gonna not move much. That's all right.
Yeah, especially Melissa. She was pretty sore.
Has she run any marathons before? Or?
That was her first one. So.
Oh well, yeah, that's. Yeah, I have never run a marathon, but it's like just even going a couple of miles at a time. It's like I couldn't picture going. Was it 26.2 miles?
Yeah, 26.2. Insane.
How long would you last before you had to vomit, you think?
Who are you asking?
Well, I guess either
Ben?
one, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
Actually,
I've never thrown up before.
I'm
from a
actually
run.
not. I'm actually not that bad, like, with running. I mean, I've got physical problems, like now I've got gout and I have a club foot and I've got, I've had other issues, but it's like, as long as I condition myself, I can, like, keep up with stuff. Like, when we went to California for Comic-Con, the first year we went, I didn't practice walking, like, a mile plus a day, and my feet I got blisters and it was all kinds of horribleness, but then the next year I for like 2 weeks before, I just started walking a mile plus a day and I was fine. So
yeah, I think that going to Comic-Con, people need to like train for it. It's like training for any other athletic event.
yeah, if you gotta like walk
Because you gotta be on
miles
your
a
feet
day,
all day
yeah,
for like 5 days.
and you gotta be close to a bunch of people, and like there's just a whole mass of body heat just coming up. It's like, oh boy, not. It's an experience you gotta like plan for. Like if you don't have any fluids or any like enough food or
You
take
definitely
enough
gotta
breaks.
pack food in your bag and drinks and nowhere to go to get those items if you don't have enough on you.
And if you see a big long line, just give it up. Just don't even try, because inevitably you'll get to like at the door and they're like, okay, it's full up now. We can't let anybody else in.
Maybe. I mean, some of them I got into, and some of them I didn't. So
I
wish that they had like a. I think that they need to have like a check-in app that you can
Like a
download.
quick
Although with
pass
the
or
amount of
something.
people there, I bet everybody's connections would not work.
Yeah, I always like the rooms where it's like it's a very tiny room and you know nobody's going to show up to it, and you're like, I don't even know what this panel's about, and it's like, oh hey, we're celebrating this cartoonist who's like 89 years old and he's going to die soon, so here's his life story. It's like, oh hey, I didn't expect this at all. So it's a very small panel, but it's the small ones are I kind of like the small ones bigger than the big mega panels anyway, where you can't see anything and it's all going to be on YouTube in 2 minutes anyway. So what's the point?
I mean, it
People
depends on
never
the
move.
panel. Some of them are pretty fun when they're gigantic. Some of
Well, I
them
think-
are pretty fun and they're tiny.
I think.
It just
Well, I think the
depends
big
on
problem
the,
was the people camping in the big main halls. So it's like they never cleared out. If
Yeah.
you could get over that, it would have been all right. But
Yeah,
we're not
I mean-
talking about Comic-Con. Let's talk about what's going on with you, Kyle.
We're not talking about Comic-Con? Oh, man.
Well, none
I mean,
of
it's
us have
okay,
gone,
'cause
and
we'll never get to go again anyway with the way
yeah. Well,
tickets are sold.
they've slowly changed up their ticketing process, but it's like I mean, I told you this summer I was thinking, Dave, do you want to try and get in? He's like, well, I got the wedding to plan for, so I'm like, yeah, I kind of just want to wait in the virtual line just to see if I even make it to the checkout counter.
Did you do that?
No, because that was
Oh.
like, no, it's that just like I'd have to get up at like the certain time and time it properly, and I just had stuff going on that day. So
Yeah, I
like-
mean, it could be fun to attempt, but I think I was going to attempt it that day, but I forget I wasn't around either, so...
yeah. Well, I mean, you know, like we've been saying, Kyle, you know, you got the whole wedding planning stuff going on, so you've got a legitimate excuse to like not be, you know, spending a lot of money on trips to wherever and you know, spending time looking for stuff. So how has all the wedding stuff, you know, gone for you? You guys have been planning for like what? You've been engaged like almost a year or something? Is that when you
We got engaged in December, so
Okay.
that's only like maybe 6 months, right?
I don't know. Because I thought you guys were planning like a year long like engagement.
No,
There
we
goes my phone.
got engaged in December, and we're getting married on September 6th, so...
Oh, September 6th. I was gonna ask what day you're getting married.
Yeah, so it's going to be, it's coming up faster than we expect, I'm sure. So
I
we
think
gotta
it'd be
find our
funny.
caterer and all that business.
Yeah, I think it would be funny to get married on the 4th of July.
Like
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Because then every year you'd have a holiday for it, too.
Oh man.
That'd be ironic, the day of independence.
Well,
Yeah.
Ian and I were talking about like, you know, the whole like bachelor party stuff. Like my brother didn't really have a bachelor party for his, but that's because, you know, he went to Jamaica for his wedding. So it's like, no, we're not throwing you anything, man. We're not even going to be able to attend, most of us. It's like I had to attend, so it's like, well, I guess I got to get a ticket and a plane ride over because he's my brother. Of course I'm going to go to it. So what are you planning on
throw a
doing?
Jamaican bachelor party while you were there?
No.
It would have been like you and your dad and Frank, so, you know.
Yeah, it was pretty much like the whole time there before the wedding was pretty much like bachelor party. Like, oh look, it's a beach. Okay,
Could have
okay,
like
here's the
found
wedding.
like a bellhop or something to hang out with, or I don't know. In the movies, people always seem to find people that work at hotels to hang out with. So
Well, I mean, in the movies, you're usually like a personality, so it's like, hey, you want to earn some extra money and go to the strip club? All right, I'm game. So, I don't know. I mean, we went to Jamaica, and pretty much everybody that we encountered was trying to sell us weed. So, it's like it might have been like a movie. I don't know. So, are you going to be doing anything for a bachelor party, Kyle? Or
I mean, I don't know. Probably. I don't know what.
Are you gonna go to like a Dave and Buster's or something?
Yeah, I don't know. There's this place down here called Arcade Legacy that's a bunch of old arcade games. Thought that would be cool because I've been wanting to go there anyway, so it's a good excuse.
oh, okay.
But
Well,
We'll see
isn't
what
it usually
happens and-
isn't it usually the best man's job to like plan the bachelor party or something? So
yeah, I think so. But I
that's
mean,
that's
with
gonna be Kent, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
that's why I figured.
it'll be Kent planning it, but since he doesn't live in Cincinnati, I got to give him ideas anyway. So
Yeah.
You guys have like a honeymoon picked out or whatever?
what's that?
You guys have a honeymoon picked out?
We got to do that too. We're looking at like deals on different websites and trying to figure it out.
What,
We're thinking
what
like
kind-
California or I don't know. At one point, we were considering maybe Disney World for a couple days and then going to a beach somewhere in Florida.
Ooh.
But we'll have to see what kind of deals we can find, really. Because then there's some other websites where, like, even on Groupon and stuff, you can find some really good travel deals.
Mhm.
So somewhere with a beach is where we'd prefer to go.
Yeah, that sounds good. Like I wouldn't like if you're gonna get married in the States, I wouldn't bother going too far out. Like, you know, there's no reason to go to the Bahamas or, you know, and when you can just go to a coast, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys even have a theme picked out yet for the wedding?
I mean, we have like colors and stuff. We're not really gonna have like a Star Wars theme or anything like that, I guess. But Although Melissa's cousin was like, I can't wait to hold a lightsaber over you guys as you walk down the aisle or something.
Just totally unrelated. She's just going to be dressed up as Darth Vader.
Yeah, probably.
I now pronounce you man and wife.
But yeah, I guess our theme is sort of like, since it's summer, we're having just like bright, vivid colors, and I don't know. I feel like we had, I guess her dress looks kind of vintagey. So she says. I haven't seen it, of course.
Well, of course not.
And so she's saying something like a great, or like an Art Deco summer wedding garden party or something like that. I don't know.
And you guys are sending out invites and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I'll need, like, the address and location, time,
Oh,
all
yeah,
that stuff.
We'll
I need that in print.
We're going to be setting up a website, too, just so that, people can RSVP through that if they want to, or
because
check out all the information.
Well, Frank and Morgan were asking me, like, what's all going on with that? I'm like, they're still figuring it out, but I told them that you had like a general, like, the date plan and everything.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we've got the date, and we've got the venue.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I think we're a little slower than some people.
Well, some people are like all about the wedding and like this must be the most expensive event of our lives.
Yeah,
it's like no.
For us, we're like, let's make this as cheap as we possibly can and still have it be fun, so we can still have money left for the honeymoon and not be broke.
Well, some people don't. Some people care about the wedding and some people just care about the reception. Is there an open bar?
Yeah. So some people, well, like the average wedding is like $25,000 or something like that.
Yeah, that's like a year of college in some places.
I know. I'm like, man, why don't we just buy a house? That'd be a great down payment.
I mean, that explains why the idea of eloping and just running away and doing it all on the cheap it makes sense as long as you have like a small group of friends. That the main reason to have a big wedding ceremony is basically for your friends and family to not be offended. Because if I just like ran off with somebody and got married, I wouldn't hear the end of it from everybody.
Yeah. I mean, we've considered just going off and eloping, and then since we still already have the venue, we could still throw a party on that.
A reception or something afterwards.
Yeah, it's just we wouldn't have to have like all the other. It would be much more laid back because when it's a wedding, it's like, oh, everything has to be like fancier or something. So.
Right. Have you guys at least decided on some kind of? We were talking about the bar or whatever. Did you guys decide on like the types of alcohol there and stuff?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have like beer and stuff. I mean, I don't drink, so for me, I don't really care if we have anything or not. But I guess Melissa sort of will from time to time. She'll have a beer here and there or wine or whatever. But I think that.
No Cristal.
What's that?
No Cristal. The $500 champagne. No.
I don't think so. So I don't even know if we'll be having wine or anything because. It's just easier. I mean, I don't think we might have, I don't know, wine because grandparents might want that or parents.
Well, I'm sure people want to toast the happy couple, so you'll be getting
Yeah. So there's that.
I think
we're just going to have, like, we're allowed to just bring whatever booze or whatever we want. We just have to have it there, like, before the day of the ceremony and reception. So we might just go out to like a party store or something and buy whatever's cheap and good, I guess.
Good and cheap.
Yeah.
I think most people, because we were talking with one of the caterers that we met with, and they're like, I don't know, it's like really expensive because they would be like, oh, okay, well, we'll throw this in and this in and this in. And we were like, I don't know that we need that much stuff because, I mean, we're only going to have about 100 people. I don't know how many people of that group will be heavy drinkers anyway. I don't know. But yeah, since I don't really drink and Melissa doesn't really drink, we don't have a lot of friends that are like really big, gluttons for alcohol. So, we're like, yeah, I don't know that we'll be needing that much stuff there. But then I know, like, people in my family drink, so we'll be having some stuff. What's that?
Is your family gonna have to check weapons at the door?
I don't think so. We'll allow weapons in.
Brass knuckles, they add to the look, You got pose for pictures, punch out the bride and groom,
We actually saw something that my sister sent us that was like, this guy must have been like a stuntman in Hollywood or something to do this, but he had like a wedding where, during the wedding they said, does anybody have anything to say about why this couple should not be wed or whatever? And then like ninjas came and fought him, and there was like a sword fight, and like Iron Man and Batman, and he had like professional costumes. So I feel like this guy must be doing something in Hollywood, because they're all like skilled too. It all looked pretty legit, as legit it's gonna get for
a wedding.
Somebody's wedding. So I don't know if he was like, it works in some martial arts field, but even if so, the costumes were really well done as well. So that was pretty entertaining. I don't know if they'll be doing that, but
well, you've seen all the viral videos of like, here's the wedding where all of a sudden they all, break dance or dubstep or, something goes on. So
yeah, there's that too.
Hey, Ben.
Yes?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, assuming you're going to be going to the wedding, assuming you get to go.
We'll see.
Depending on the turnout of this show, if Kyle approves. Yeah.
No, I was gonna ask, do you have like a suit you could wear or something?
Well, I've got a suit I wore to my friend Megan's wedding back in like 06, 07. So like I gotta have it checked and tailored and everything for me, but I'm gonna wait a little while to do that because I don't want to like get it fixed and then get fatter or thinner, either one. I mean, I don't know. Have you got all your suit stuff figured out, Kyle? Like,
no, that's one of the things I gotta do on one of the upcoming weekends, going suit shopping. So
it always feels like whenever you get a suit, like you put it away until you need it, and the next time you get it out, it's like, was this a child's suit?
Yeah. So
aren't you doing a tux or whatever? Usually,
I decided not to do the tux because then, like, anytime I've been in somebody else's wedding, the tux is at least like $90 to rent.
Oh yeah.
Like as a groomsman, I've had to pay like $90 for a tux, and then you don't get to keep it. And I'm like, man, I could spend that much or more, depending on where I get the suit from. If you can get a good deal on a suit for $150 probably in some places, I'm like, I'd much rather pay like a little more and get to keep the suit and wear it again.
Well, can you still fit into your birthday suit that you used to wear on your birthday in high school?
Silver suit?
The silver suit that you would have people pin the dollar to?
I could probably squeeze into that.
Either that or your He-Man suit, one of the two.
Yeah, one of those.
Oh, you should get that suit from Dumb and Dumber, the orange one.
Yeah.
We had guys show up in that at prom back when we graduated. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. Those kind of suits
coming out with the Dumb and Dumber too.
They supposed to have been working on that for a while. I kept hearing Jim Carrey dropped from the project, and he was coming back, and then he dropped again. I don't know. I don't know anything about the actual guy. I know what the story is, but I don't know anything about the actual production right now. So
yeah, I saw Godzilla over the weekend, and that was kind of disappointing in ways.
I'd heard that it was like I heard there's like scenes that work, and then there's long slogs of why are they filming this from like some guy's car from the back.
Well, the thing that I had an issue with was that there was really only one big monster fight, and I'm like, come on, it's a Godzilla movie. I need like 5 monster fights. There needs to be some little skirmishes here and there, and I guess there was like maybe one little skirmish. There was lots of monster destruction, like they'd just be walking through a city and stuff would be, going crazy. But there was only one big monster fight, so you're waiting the whole movie to get to the big fight, and then it was kind of an underwhelming fight because it was pretty short. And I'm like, really? Like the visuals were really cool. Godzilla looked awesome, but I didn't really care about the characters. They tried to make it too much of a story.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is like, I understand wanting to make it a big professional movie and all, but if you're going to see Godzilla, you don't care about the humans in a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Nobody does. It's great that you get Bryan Cranston and any other talented actors involved, but you don't care about the humans.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's fine. It's just they need to make a better story for the humans too, and not put so much of the focus on them, because there just wasn't enough focus on the monsters, or there are some side characters outside this like core family in the movie that I feel like would have been more interesting if they would have been able to focus on them. Like there was this Japanese scientist dude, but the whole movie he was just kind of in the background acting stunned, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. even though I've been monitoring this stuff for years. Like, oh, it's finally happening, and I'm just shocked. I can't do anything.
Did they have Puff Daddy at the end of the credits there?
No, they did not. That was my other complaint.
I don't know. I saw one theater that was advertising, Godzilla with 100% less Matthew Broderick. So
yeah,
I don't know. I was trying to talk my mom into going to see it, but she's been upset with me because I didn't want to see God Isn't Dead and what's that other movie? Heaven is for Real.
God Isn't Dead. I don't even know if I've heard of that one.
Yeah,
I've heard of that one. I haven't heard of the Heaven one. That's the one where he's like with the teacher or whatever.
Well, they got so.
That's not me.
Who's falling over?
My mic fell over. And it's a snowball, so it's kind of weighty. So it's like boom.
The snowball has fallen.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, the God's Not Dead movie is about a kid taking a philosophy class, and the professor, like the beginning of the course, makes the students write "God is dead" on the paper. I'm like, you would never have that because
and it's got Conan in it. Or no, Hercules.
Yeah, it's got
Kevin Sorbo.
It's got Kevin Sorbo, and it's like that's my problem. Is like right away this movie is going to be a strawman propaganda film, and it's like
it's got Dean Cain in it too.
Well,
I'm on the IMDb. Look at that.
Well, look at that.
He plays Mark.
Hi, Mark. But yeah, it's like I have no interest in seeing that. And then The Heaven is for Real is based on a book of if you see the cover of it, it's this little kid with his arms wide open and this really bad Photoshop shadow behind him. And it's about his near-death experience, even though there's no evidence that he died during the surgery that he had the experience on. So the whole thing is like, this little kid's telling you about when he sat on Jesus' lap and when he sat on his grandpa's lap, and yeah, I mean the review I heard from it, they said it was basically like a Hallmark movie. It's like it's not offensive.
But both of those look like Hallmark movies.
Yeah,
Heaven's for reals, yo.
Yeah, and my mom was like, "Oh, you didn't want to see those movies with me?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, because I mean, as much as you might not like a Godzilla movie, Mom, you're not going to be sitting there mad at it, because I'm sure if I watched either of those two movies, they would make me mad. So, it's like I don't need to see a propaganda movie. Like I don't need to see that. And I don't. I mean, if there was I mean, I'm not an atheist. I'm a Baptist and all that stuff. So it's like I would side with religion if it wasn't so forced in a propaganda film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of any movie like that that's ever been entertaining, or entertaining
unironically.
Yeah.
Come on, Ben. Hollywood knows what you should.
Like Rock, it's your
believe
decision.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, although during this weekend my mom was watching the televangelist, like she always is, and there was one guy who was saying, Pharaoh, through the redistribution of wealth, enslaved the Jews. I'm like, and the award for salty goes to. I'm like, I guess it's easier, to fit buzzwords into your speech when they're actual words, because if it had been like Pharaoh was the decider, I don't think it would have had the same ring to it. So.
Yeah, I'm still trying to debate if I even want to see that Captain America movie now.
Oh, why's that?
Well, because of that article that I had last week about him sending pictures of his junk to a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Evans did that? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Well, that's lame. Captain America was really awesome, though. I enjoyed that movie. I would recommend seeing it. It's probably I would say, I don't know. It's up there with the first Iron Man and the Avengers. Somewhere in the top 3 of the whole Marvel series.
Yeah, I need to check it out. It's just I haven't gone to see a lot of movies lately. I've been meaning to. Although I'll tell you what I did do this weekend. I watched King Kong, the original, on our big plasma TV. I finally talked my mom into watching it with me. Because I enjoyed it. Because you and I saw the Peter Jackson remake, didn't we, Kyle?
Yeah.
And
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was a great looking film, except like I remember when we were watching it, there were scenes with like, was it the Brachiosaur, like Stampede or whatever in that, where the green screen went suddenly questionable. It was like, there's so many great shots, and then it's like, oh, they're walking under and over this green screen shot. I'm like, this guy is just it's very obvious and fake here.
Yeah.
What year was that movie? The original one?
The original was 1933.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, scale up those pixels to 1080p.
Well, I mean, it was a DVD, not a Blu-ray and all that stuff, but it's like, for what it is, like, I think it works. Like, you make a film like that where it's black and white, and then, you know, some of the matting effects where they put in the screen and then puppets, and the way they layered that film, you know, it works. Like, the level of, like, this looks like it's part of the shot. The guy who actually put this together kind of knows what he's doing. So, I mean, granted, there's some stuff in there that's questionable because it's 1933, but, yeah. So, anyway, moving along.
1 second, I will be right back.
Alright.
Should I start reading the news soon?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I don't know. Is there anything that you'd like to have Kyle's input on in the news? You know, or is it just like flash news? Here's this thing that happened.
Well, I mean, there is some things on it. There's one article that at the end that I'd like to have his and your input upon, but they're just going from the same types of news that I've had before, you know.
All right. I mean, if there's anything that we'd like his opinion on, we'll call back to it when he comes back. So go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask when he comes back, I could do it.
Oh, okay. Then
I don't know how long. I thought he was stepping out for a second.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what's going on. That Godzilla could have come to his door.
Did he specify how long he was able to be on this podcast?
I believe an hour. I think. I don't know.
Okay then.
So,
I guess maybe it's up to you if you want to do some trivia after he goes, or did you want to end the show when he goes?
But we can do some trivia and all that stuff. I mean, who knows? I mean, the last time he was on, he could do an hour, and then he ended up. How long was that? Like an hour and a half. So, who knows? Who knows? He might end up being outside the whole show.
Yeah.
This is the wonder of live shows, folks. All of nobody who's tuned in live at the moment, but all you people watching on YouTube later, after the fact. I'm talking to you from the past. Ooh.
Yeah. I think for a couple shows, we've had a couple people pop in here and there.
Yeah,
but
people pop in, but you never know if they're people you know or if it's just like, oh, there's this live thing going on. Like I would be on like live streams late at night, and it'd be like people from other countries practicing their English, so it'd be fun.
Right.
Like, yeah, I don't know, man. Fun times. So what's new with you, Ian?
Oh, it's not a whole lot. Actually, I've been there was a lot of episodes I didn't see back in the day, so I decided to shotgun a lot of like all the seasons of the Boy Meets World show.
Oh.
I still haven't gotten to that episode you're complaining about where Eric he like swims all the way to
Hawaii
or something.
Yeah.
What was your beef with that again? I forget.
Well, the whole thing is like they make all this pretense about how serious things are, but then the brother swims to Hawaii, and it's like, how do you write that off? It's like
I have returned.
Welcome back. Well, we solved world hunger.
You saw what?
We solved world hunger.
Good.
Scarlett Johansson came on, she made out with us. It was pretty nice.
Okay.
I figured out cold fusion.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Sounds
but
like a good productive just couple minutes there.
Yeah, but then just like that Weird Al Yankovic song, you exploded because you never told a soul.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well then.
Yeah,
Good thing it was recorded.
By the oil companies.
Yeah. So.
My cold fusion.
Actually, if you can't tell, I've got my I've got a new cooler, one of those thermoelectric coolers that I had one in college where I used it as a mini fridge because you plug it into an adapter and you plug it into your DC on the wall and it works fine. But I kept it under a desk for like 5 years and it slowly choked to death. So I got a new one for this road trip we're going to be going on later this summer, and you might hear a little shh in the back. That's the cooler. I've got a little
So,
mini
so
fridge
where are you
here.
going on your road trip?
My mom,
Wyoming?
my mom wants to go to Wyoming to
Yeah,
to check it out.
Wyoming.
That's pretty much
awesome.
everyone's response, and it's like, well, she likes the parks and the look of the nature, and like Yellowstone's there, right? It's like, I guess I don't, whatever.
That's why they have Y in front of the name.
Not
Yeah.
not quite Comic-Con, huh?
Well, I'm looking forward to the road tripping and visiting, other states, and
Yeah.
it's fun. You get to plan and see what's out there, and then you might just have a day where you're just driving along, going, let's just see what's going on out here. It's vacation. Anything to get you out of the house for a while.
Are you
So-
gonna bring a camera and like gonna sketch on your iPad and stuff and draw all sorts of inspiration?
Well, my phone has a camera in it, so I'll just take all kinds of photos with that. I think when I went to Comic Con for the road trip out there, I had an old flip phone, so I would send pictures to people and stuff, but it wasn't quite as nice as like today would be, where I could just take out the thing and post a little caption or like shoot some video and just post it to Facebook or YouTube. So now it's a lot nicer. Like I first started using text, on that trip because you'd be on the road and it's like, look at this sunset. I guess I should send this to the folks back home. Waiting signal. Oh, darn, dropped. So,
Yeah, I know it's.
I guess you could consider that a camera.
Yeah.
If I use a DSLR, so a little bit biased on that.
What's funny is I feel like with like nowadays, it's probably even like when we went to Comic-Con, it was pretty easy to text and figure out a meeting spot and all that. Now I feel like with the amount of people that are there texting and like uploading pictures and doing all the other crap, probably would never be able to get a text through the whole time during the whole day.
well, I remember when we drove out there to Comic Con, like you had this whole syllabus of like roads and everything printed out you were going to use, and then I had that little GPS the Garmin Newbie, and it's like we tried that for the first day and we never went back to your maps.
Well, yeah, we didn't have a GPS in the plans, and then your mom got one randomly, so we're like, well, hey, there we go.
And we realized how nice it was because like, hey man, is there a restaurant in this location? Oh yeah, there's
I mean,
one right there.
the GPS took us along the same route that I had planned out, but yeah, we were able to find restaurants and hotels that way, so that was handy.
Yeah. So anyway, this week we got some news from Ian. How you doing, Ian? What news you got for us?
Doing fine, sir. The news, the first F5 articles, like I try to do every week. I try to pick out news articles that sound pretty interesting to me, at least, because a lot of them are just like sort of boring, So, do you watch the news, Kyle?
Yeah, I watch what I can.
Where do you get most of your sources from?
Ah,
Internet or-
gee. I mean, I typically will just go to CNN if I just want updates on national or world news. And then anything more specific, I'll go somewhere else. But generally, if I just want a general idea of what's going on, I'll go to one of the bigger, websites, which of course with CNN, it's just all about, airplanes disappearing and stuff now. But
Yeah.
But yeah, it really depends on what I'm looking for. Usually, if there's a topic I just want to look up, I'll just Google it and then go for the top results, which may or may not be the best way to go about things, but it seems to work for me.
Yeah, I usually like I got Flipboard on my phone and it aggregates the most news. So like when I'm checking the morning's news and flipping through to see what's the headlines, I'll read that because it pulls from like the Guardian, the BBC, CNN, and a whole bunch of different ones. Because usually whenever you read a story and then you look down at the little icon of who's reporting, it's like, oh, of course. So.
Yeah. Well, this first article I have is about the Xbox One. Microsoft announced that a new $400 Xbox One is coming June 9th. That does not include the Kinect peripheral. Additionally, the Xbox One and Xbox 360 will no longer require a 5 gold subscription to access streaming apps like Netflix, Hulu Plus, YouTube, and HBO Go. 5 gold subscription will also not be needed for some premium services on the Xbox One, such as One Guide, Internet Explorer, and Skype. So,
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Well, I mean, this is just in the long rolling back of things that Microsoft's been doing. Like, please, please take this. We really want to beat Sony. Please. Is it better now? Is this what you got? I mean, the whole thing with the Kinect, it's like you know, it. They rolled it out, and then like, oh, you have to have this, and now it's like, well, yeah, it's like, oh, you have to have it, but then okay, it doesn't have to be on every day, and now it's like, well, now you don't even have to have it. It's like, it's just going to be a dead peripheral eventually. It's going to be a thing that nobody uses. So, because there's been no, I mean, I was listening to a podcast the other day where they were talking about, like, even, like, being generous, like, when a game developer makes a game, there's, like, a third of the market would be using Xbox, and then only, like, generously half of them, if they have, a Kinect, would have it. So it's like, why bother making something for it? So.
Right. No, I think both are good moves on Microsoft's part because I'll be able to probably get an Xbox One down the road then more easily, I don't have to save up for like the same amount I did for my camera,
Mm-hmm. I mean, I personally just care about the games. I mean, PlayStation. I've heard the PlayStation Network has like a lot of, like a free game a month or a free game. They have a lot more content right now than the Xbox, but I don't know.
Yeah. And it's nice with the streaming thing because it's like, yeah, you're already paying for Netflix, but if you want to be able to use it on the Xbox, if you don't have a smart TV or whatever, then yeah, you got to pay their subscription fee too. Then or their points.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be like $49 a year every year, and it's like no other device charges you for that. I mean, it's like no, if you want to use Netflix, like you don't have to pay for your phone to have it or the Roku. I mean, you might, for like stuff like Hulu Plus, they get their money from charging you for on your device, but it's like that's just part of the service. You're not paying for the device, so.
Right. Well, now the only thing I could see playing devil's advocate here is, like when you compare like the PlayStation got hacked and that their Microsoft continually has support for it, and they they have people working on it all the time. There's a lot of maintenance on it, I guess. But I don't know. I forget, wasn't that like last year where like the PlayStation Network was hacked or whatever?
That might have been even more than that now. I've been a year and a half, 2 years. I mean, I know it came out, but that happened long before the Xbox One, so that might have been like last summer before that.
Right. But I guess the reasoning is, like you playing all the games and stuff, that takes like the huge amount of bandwidth, so I guess that's their reasoning.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's going to start talking about bandwidth just like, the whole net neutrality issue.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about that. What is your opinion on that, Kyle?
Well, he's muted right now. I don't know what he's up to.
Kyle, you had one thing to listen.
Well, who's to say he's not listening, but he can't be commenting right now.
No, I didn't even know that. Should I continue on to the next article or wait to get his opinion?
You go ahead. We'll return to him when he gets back.
Okay. So the next article here is about MIT can map the activity of every neuron in an animal's brain. Describes scientists have long yearned for a neuron by neuron illustration of brain activity. I must have copied something wrong. It says that you can use to see exactly what drives an animal's thoughts and reflexes. MIT may make those wishes come true, as it just revealed a system that produces a complete 3D neural activity map. We can make it stronger. We have the tools.
Are you back, Kyle?
Yes. Sorry, I had a phone call.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So, real quickly, Kyle, what are your thoughts on the whole Xbox One getting rid of the Kinect for a cheaper package?
I mean, if you don't want it, then it's annoying when you have to buy something that has a bunch of stuff that you may not be using. So I like when there's an option to have it, but also not to have it. If you're someone that doesn't want to use that, then sure, just buy it without it. But
Yeah.
I like having the packages as well for, then you don't have to piece everything out. Because then it gets easier.
Right.
If they can give you a little bit of a deal for buying it all at once, then I'm all for that.
Yeah.
And I'm all for being able to use Netflix on there without having to buy the gold subscription.
Yeah, that just sounds silly.
Yeah.
Because I
Then
don't
we get
use.
into. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't want the gold subscription, so I just use Netflix through my old Logitech Review, which works fine for it, so that's good. But
I use it on and off. It's just it used to be expensive. It's a little bit cheaper now, I guess. But
yeah,
then we sort of got into we transitioned into net neutrality. Well, we've talked about that before on the podcast. What's your opinions on that? Or what's your stance on it?
I mean, I think that I don't think that the government should be going into all the regulations for it.
So you don't want to have like the fast lanes or whatever for Netflix, right?
I mean, I don't know. There seems to be like positives and negatives to it, but I don't really have an issue with my connection as is. So unless it's going to be affecting that, then that'll annoy
Right.
me. if
Well, it
does.
probably will, because I was reading an article just the other day where they were saying Comcast was planning on, charging on, per data data usage. So it'd be like, if you're on Comcast and you have, if you watch a lot of Netflix, it's like, well, guess what?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's.
Well, the problem is that I guess that's essentially what people are complaining about is that you're gonna end up having to pay more for what you've already been paying for,
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what it is.
It also seems like it'll be for businesses or especially large businesses. It seems like that'll hurt them as well. But they'll probably give them deals and everything. But even at a place like here at University of Cincinnati or whatever, there's a lot of people using the internet here all day. So how are they going to regulate, companies and all that where they're primarily everybody's using, networks and stuff to use all their tools for work. I don't know. Seems like there's going to be a lot of organizations that'll get upset about that too.
Well, Will Wheaton, he was the one that posted the article about, Comcast's plans and everything. He was saying that, internet should really be billed like water. You shouldn't be piecing it out by like, oh, well, you drink more water, so you have to pay us more. It's like, can you imagine if your water bill was like that? It's like, that's...
Yeah.
Anyway, so what was about MIT Brains?
Yeah,
Brain
well,
scanning?
it was. I believe he was gone. Kyle was gone when we were talking about it, but it's just that MIT was able to map the activity of every neuron in an animal brain. So I'm not really sure what that's going to benefit, but I guess it'll benefit the area of, just like neurology and you being able to, I don't know, make an artificial brain maybe sometime in the future if you wanted, I suppose.
Well, I'm sure it's relative for imaging and telling what parts are firing during thought and everything. So eventually mapping out, the effects of the brain and how, brain damage and what we think, what parts are firing when we think of certain things. So I'm sure it's going to help in the future. Just right now,
Right.
I can't really think of anything cool it's going to be doing.
Well, we've talked about what's your opinion, Kyle, on adding computer chips and adding intelligence to human brains and having artificial intelligence and putting a brain on a computer and all that type of stuff.
all the stuff that turns our life into even more of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
I think it's something where I don't know. I think it can be dangerous. It could be super cool, but I mean, when you think about it conceptually, it's like, yeah, that's awesome. But when you get down to how it'll actually affect people, I don't know. It could screw with people a lot.
Well,
And
I
then next
don't
thing you
know.
know, everybody's turning into like, what's that?
I wanted to see that movie that was sort of new, that Transcendence movie. Did you? Yeah.
No, I did not see that one.
I forget. I think he was like some kind of president or whatever that died, and they was able to keep their brain, and they put his intelligence on like a supercomputer or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and that happened in Captain America too.
Oh, really?
Yep. Which I looked it up. It's a guy that plays Captain America at like Universal Studios that did that.
Yeah.
So shouldn't affect your viewing experience of the movie.
Well, I think one scientist I heard like on one of those shows about this type of stuff. I think it was on one of the History channels, which I don't know what it has to do with history, but he was saying that having like a human brain on a computer or whatever, that would be like a fate worse than death, because you have no senses or anything, can't touch or feel or.
Oh yeah, I don't know that I would want my brain on a computer. Once you get into that whole thing, it's like, oh well.
Well,
Then
that
your brain
turns
is-
us into lawnmower man at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've seen. It's interesting when I've watched like footage of like people getting brain surgeries and stuff. It's like they don't have. Once they get into the skull, they don't have to use like an anesthetic on your brain because it doesn't have any sensors of pain or anything because it's not supposed to be exposed. So, it's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I think did you ever see those pictures where they have like brain matter growing on like microchips or whatever, where it's like attracted to like the circuits and stuff like that?
No.
Weird.
But it makes me think of in the movie Lex. I mean, in the show Lex that it was from Sci-Fi Network, and I don't know who else owned it, but like they had like human brains where it was just like a cube of a brain was hooked up to circuit boards and stuff, and it's like it only needed so much of the brain to power it, and I don't know, that kind of stuff's interesting. I mean, the human brain is pretty much just a very sequence of electrons firing and storing things and data.
Yeah.
Eventually, somebody's going to learn how to plug a computer into it.
Yeah. Someone having a snack there or something?
Yep.
Okay.
Nom, nom.
No. But they said that there is key differences between like the way robots would think and humans. I mean, the things that make us human is like emotions and stuff.
Well, humans have a lot of variables, It's not just like straight yes or no data. So, all right.
I remember seeing a program where they had like these blocks or whatever where they learned and they like evolved into different shapes and stuff. I don't know. Did you ever play that Game of Life or whatever? Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, is that the one where the squares evolve as you do things or something like that?
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen it. It's weird, but
Yeah.
it's not. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
News story 3.
Story 3 is about cryptocurrency. Western Union and eBay tried to horn in on Bitcoin with new patents. Says 2 weeks ago, Western Union received a patent for alternative value exchange systems and methods, which in short is a way for the company to use and accept alternative currencies. At the time of the filing, back in 2009, these currencies included barter systems like barter card and virtual gold and dollars from various online sources, including Second Life and World of Warcraft. Western Union, we should remember, thinks Bitcoin isn't that interesting, but would love to get a piece of the virtual goods market. And last March, eBay filed another ban on a Bitcoin currency exchange, which, according to the eBay CEO John Banaho, could be a sort of digital wallet that can take multiple types of currency. So.
I don't know. I kind of think eventually the Bitcoin is gonna, like, just the logo for it's gonna change into a gangster going, "What, you wise guy?" You know, because I mean, as much as like I support the idea of all kinds of different, you know, virtual currency. Basically, Bitcoin, like, it's right now mostly being used by the criminal market, and I don't know. Just like with you know, BitTorrent and other useful technology, it's like, well, right now the only people that are using it are people getting around more legit systems right now. So
yeah, Kyle? What's your opinion on cryptocurrencies?
I mean, if I can use it to get rich off it, sure. But yeah, you know, it's something that I haven't used. So I don't really have too much an opinion on it, other than, you know, if it starts being, I don't know, a way to, I don't know how you actually would. I don't know.
How you convert it is going to be the important thing, because like
Yeah.
right now I think we're just going to see a flood of people going, oh, we've got the fun bucks here, and look, use our internet monies, you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
eventually it's like, well, that converts to like, you got less than Confederate money now because it's worth less than that because that company shut down.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
basically to me, it just is all like, oh, well, shoot, I have a bunch of money saved up in some video game, and then, or I've built a crazy
Second-
character that I can sell online, but then, you know, once that video game isn't popular anymore, then no one's going to want to buy that character either.
or all the servers shut down and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, I don't know. It's like my concern is one, how it converts, and then also like eventually what's to keep like Google from just deciding, hey, we're going to start our own currency now, and we're going to be like the world's like third largest country now, because that's one
Well,
of the
they
few
probably
requirements.
will.
Yeah,
They're going
I
to
mean,
announce that like next month, probably.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, getting down to the fundamentals of it, though, I mean, like with credit cards and stuff. When did credit cards start? Then couldn't you use credit cards back in the 70s?
oh, they've been around for a long time. I mean, eventually, I think all money's just going to go to like a digital credit, where like we're not actually going to handle paper money for the most part. I mean, in
Yeah.
some areas you're going to
Right.
get it, but for the most part, we're not going to see the money. It's like you work, you get, they send some digital money to your account, and then you send that to the bill collectors, and it's like you never see any of that.
Yeah,
Never-
actually, I probably handle like maybe 40 to 50 actual dollars a month
Yeah.
in like real money. The rest of it is all.
it's all just
digital
credits
these
and
days.
bartered. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
you know, I'm
unless-
good for it. It's all
Unless I
going
know I'm
in.
going to an event where I have to, it's going to be cash only. Other than that, I'll be like, well, I get like $40 out a month just so I can have some cash on when I need it. And other than that,
I'd-
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of things are just like with credit cards and stuff. It's like at the end of the day, it's just zeros and ones, you know,
Yeah.
tied to how much effort you've put out, you know.
And then it turns into that Justin Timberlake movie where they're just rolling the time, and everybody's getting time. It's like, everybody should get it, it's free. So, I don't know. I mean, we've talked about before, though, Ian. I don't remember if I mentioned it on the podcast or if I was just talking to you about it or something, but have you guys seen those new $100 bills?
Yeah, you mentioned that on the podcast.
Yeah, with that gradient 100 that's just big and bold and it's stroked like it's Photoshop document. I'm like, can we just, like, okay, if you're gonna do this, like, I'm all for making our money look like, you know, other countries' money is like it's color coded and it's sized by denomination and stuff, so it makes sense, and it's more indestructible. You know, ours is made from cotton and linen. It's like, why? The average dollar doesn't last like a year. You know, it's like, but that 100 really just bothered me. Where I just look at it and go, did they just stamp that in Photoshop? Can you quit trying to make it look like something from the 1700s and this? It's like, you know, if you spend all the time trying to get built, you know, Ben Franklin's face, you know, to look like the old-fashioned, you know, linotype or whatever, but then you stick on a hologram and a watermark, and it's like, just move away from that. Give it up, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'd be sort of cool though, sculpting those. What are those things called for like the coins where they sculpt like on like a giant like 2 foot disc? They'll start with clay and they sculpt in like the coin or whatever.
What, the molds or the masters?
Yeah, yeah, like the master key thing. That looks pretty fun, you know.
I mean, it's an art form, yeah, but it's like if you're moving towards having, all this security stuff on here and like, do not copy, do not steal, it's like, can we quit trying to make it look like something that doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's like I said before, though. I'm just scared one day we'll have all of the zeros and ones of what we were supposed to have in money is going to be tied to like our palm or something or our thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just scan
we have no choice but
computer chip in your wrist and
the mark of the beast and all that stuff. Yeah, world currency. We know. So, what's the next news story, Ian?
Okay, the next one is, well, at the time of the article, I forget when that was. I think that was a few days ago. The article was up, but it said beginning today, the 4 major wireless carriers in the United States began voluntarily offering text to 911 capability as an alternative to placing a voice call. So
yeah, I saw that.
I guess it's nice when you're like if you're a kid and your mom's being murdered and you're hiding in the closet to be able to place a text to the police, you know.
Well, it's nice at any point in time when it's safer for you to be able to text. It's like if the technology is there, they should accept it. And in fact, like cell phones, when they lose service, they still ring out to 911. So, I mean, it's like if you have that capability, texting should be a no-brainer. But can you imagine the fun of being the 911 text guy?
Oh God.
Going, okay, so somebody sent me another dick pic. I don't know how to handle this. Somebody sent me an emoticon. Somebody sent me an emoticon. Are they crying? I don't know if they're crying in this one. Is that okay? I don't know, man.
Well, as soon you'll have like Facebook to 911 or something, you know.
Oh man, can you imagine Instagramming to 911?
Yeah. Well, yeah, take a picture with your camera, just have it snapped straight to the PD, you know.
Anyway. But yeah, all in all, we support the idea. I mean, it's going to be interesting how it gets interpreted because I mean, they already put up with all the aid like the senior citizens and children that call them and asking them asinine things, and then the butt dialings. Can you imagine all the drunk texts to 911 they're going to be getting? I don't envy that department's job any.
I'm gonna text the 911 while I'm driving.
Well, remember John McCain's brother called 911 and asked why there was so much traffic on the freeway or something? It's like, wow.
Yeah. What's your opinion on that? I mean, Ben said that we all support it, but for all we know, you could have been like blasphemy.
Of what?
Texting
just the 911 thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, as long as you're not. I mean, it could be something that could be pretty nice. I feel like most situations the phone is going to be more useful, but I'm sure that they still have to screen a lot of phone calls and butt dials anyway.
Well, I mean, just like with any other text, though, it's like, sometimes if you're getting directions or if you need some information, some stuff is better in text format anyway. So, yeah. I don't know. Plus, I mean, the person... What if the person's like, mute and can't talk? Texting's a good thing.
Yeah. There are certain situations where texting would be good. Like, as you said, if you're hiding in a closet away from someone trying to kidnap you or your family members, then that's going to be safer than
I can just see it now. They're texting in the 911 and then it does that little sending noise. Who did that?
Oh, did you see the trailer for that new movie with Elijah Wood and John Cusack? Actually, it might even be out already, where he's like, John Cusack is sort of holding Elijah Wood hostage in a way and telling him to play the perfect, piano concert if he hits one wrong note, he'll die. So it looks like the whole movie, Elijah Wood is on like Bluetooth, and John Cusack is talking to him. I don't know. I just thought of that based on all this stuff.
Well,
it looks kind of weird. I'm not sure how that would actually play out, because it's like, you know, he's up there on stage in front of a theater full of people, and he's like running off the stage, trying to get away, and then John Cusack's like, no, you have to go back and play.
And then the piano's rigged just like the xylophone in that old Looney Tunes bit. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
So I don't really understand how the audience is going to react to Elijah Wood running on and off stage, and I don't know. It just seems like an odd concept.
I don't know. I mean, if they're gonna do that, they might as well just have Adrian Brody do the part. I mean, it would have made more sense to me.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention though that you do have to, in the text you have to specify your location and name and stuff. You know.
So yeah, they won't triangulate you because you won't actually be connected.
911, Toad's getting murdered, yo. Frowny face.
Yeah.
Oh, darn videos playing. There we go. Okay. Moving along. What's the last story of the day?
Okay. Well, this one is a little bit more political and controversial, and we might disagree on it. We might not. I don't know, but I thought it was sort of interesting. But it says the article is "What's the beef? USDA goes shopping for submachine guns." The article says, "What does the National Weather Service, Social Security Administration, and now the U.S. Department of Agriculture all have in common? These government agencies are all hoarding weapons and ammunition for no good reason." What's your thought on just like general, like a lot of agencies having that don't have anything to do with like investigations, like the FBI or whatever, or just like general, like didn't some banks were allowed to carry guns or whatever? What's your idea of like group rights over like, you know, like individual rights, you know?
I have no idea.
Wait, so what was in the story again? It got a little quiet when you were reading it.
It says USDA go shopping for machine guns, so they're able to they're wanting to put an order in for machine guns.
The USDA?
Yeah, that's the funny thing.
I mean, how transparent is the whole, you know, there's that whole Freedom of Information Act and everything. How transparent is this? Because, like, I don't understand why certain organizations need submachine guns.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I put the article on there that's by RT. So, I don't know. The RT, I think, is a little bit biased on things. I don't know, but do you remember hearing about the National Weather Service and like Social Security asked they were buying up guns and ammunition and stuff?
I don't know. I mean, when I hear stuff like this, it just reminds me of when, like, they were saying that what was the IRS was like taking a look at conservative groups, and they're like, oh, actually, that was started by, you know, they're like, oh, that you get into the whole issue of liberal versus conservative things, and like, oh, it was actually started by a conservative, and actually they were targeting democratic groups too, and you know, it's like, I don't know how much to read into it because I don't think any of us are getting the full details on the story. Like, this just sounds like a flag that there might be some story there, but
I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was very specific on like the reasons or whatever. But it just to begin with, though, like I was asking, what's I mean, I know a lot of people are against like what is it, like just like companies having like rights, you know, as like corporations having like rights or whatever. That I know there's been big debates about that, you know, where I think a lot of people were against it because you know, a corporate entity isn't the same as just like an individual, you know.
Hmm.
I don't know. What are your thoughts about that? Have you heard about any of those things I mentioned, Kyle?
I hadn't heard about the USDA buying the machine guns, but I don't really know what they would need them for.
Well, I mean, there are those rogue farmers. I mean,
yeah. As far as corporations having individual rights, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they shouldn't be held the same as an individual person. I think corporations should have their own set of rights, but I don't know. That should just be like, oh, this is, a person now.
Yeah, I don't think somebody from the USDA or like the IRS needs to be deputized.
Yeah, and then are they going to, like, if someone bullies a corporation, are they going to get in trouble? Is Pepsi going to get in trouble for saying Coke sucks?
look, you're cyber stalking Coke, and they don't like it. Okay.
Yeah. So what's going to happen then?
They're here to tell you that they have a problem and they want a restraining order.
Yeah, like I think that it's something where it can go way too far once they start doing that more prevalently.
I think that guy that you meet at Walmart, he should be deputized at the door.
The greeter?
Yeah.
Well,
probably needs to be with the.
Depending on the location of the Walmart, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like those pizza guys that go into what they call high risk areas or whatever. So don't some pizza places charge extra for high risk areas?
Yeah, and then it's like they pay more for the delivery guys that'll take the deliveries out to those areas, and it's like, man, I don't know. I don't even know, man.
You get to have a shotgun.
You get a shotgun, and you get a shotgun, and everybody gets a shotgun. So.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I mean, the main thing is that, like, you can have individual rights, like, outside of the place, like, you get to carry a gun or whatever, but if you're, like, a federal worker for, like, the USDA, I don't think you really have a purpose for a gun there at the workplace, I guess, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, does the article go into who's getting the gun? If it's like just workers, or if it's like a leader of this branch or whatever is doing it, or what?
Are they giving them the cows?
The cows having guns.
Yeah, they're arming the animals. Finally, Ben.
It'd be like that scene in Futurama where the penguins just have the rifles.
Didn't you write a song called "Arm the Animals," Ben?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, so it's finally coming true.
Yeah, I was just trying to be amusing.
But I think I put the article up there. It's sort of lengthy, so I guess.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you, because I'm not gonna be able to read that.
Pretty much most of these you get the gist. That's why I try to put the sources on there so people can read it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But
sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, do you get sort of into politics, Kyle, or what's?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody does to some extent, but I always like to be as well informed as I can be before I have a serious opinion on things.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that just get really pissed off and want to start marching when they don't know what they're protesting about.
There are people that just don't do any research
on both
like,
sides.
I have an opinion.
Yeah, it's just I'm very angry and I'm going to hold up this sign, and it's like, well, do you know what this protest is about? Well, no, but.
Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of things where I'll definitely try and look into both sides of the story before I'm like, oh yeah, this is the way to go.
Well, like, whenever someone asks, hey, you want to sign this petition, I'm always wary of, like, yeah, I'm going to be on some show where they get the guy to sign a petition that it's going to, ban food from everybody, or, the stupid one, like, these people don't read anything, so I never want to just sign something just because, even if they're like, oh, this is for a good cause for the local area, like, I don't care. I don't sign anything unless I know what I'm signing.
Yeah, and you gotta remember too, a lot of times, like organizations don't know. They definitely don't like speak for everyone. Just like with PETA doesn't speak for Ben, you know.
Nope.
Or like
Yeah.
that, a lot of people who are really hardcore gun nuts, the NRA doesn't speak for them, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's plenty of things where you can get lumped in with one tangent that you might not even be want to lumped in with just because of
Yeah.
how vocal you might be about it.
Yeah. Definitely. What do you what are you registered as, Kyle?
I forget if it's independent or Democrat, but
Yeah, I'm a Democrat just so I can vote in the primaries. I don't think in Ohio. I believe that's a thing in Ohio. Some states you don't have to tell which one you are. You can vote in either one. But yeah.
I feel like I've been able to vote and not been able to.
Well, you've been able to vote, but I'm saying for primaries, like.
Well, no, I know, but I feel like I've been able to vote in primaries and it didn't matter.
I
But
don't
maybe
know.
they just weren't
Well,
checking. I don't know.
Well, they give you a different ballot for each one, so it's
Yeah.
like at least here they do. I know my mom swapped over to being Republican so she could vote in the primaries just because she's. The thing is, like, I don't think she cares about like having one side or the other. I think she's just like whoever's running now, she wants to be able to vote against them. So like, I'm sure when the next time a Republican president comes in, she'll switch to being Democrat and being angry. So, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Like when it came down to the primaries, it's like she couldn't decide between Obama or Hillary, and like one of them was going to win the primary, and she didn't want that, so she went and voted for Huckabee. It's like, well, he was totally not going to win his primary, so of course you're going to vote for him.
Kyle, who are you thinking about for 2016?
I haven't really been thinking about it much yet.
I want somebody new because as
Yeah.
much as I like Hillary Clinton, I really think that I'm tired of dynasties on both sides. Let's have
Yeah.
somebody new, please.
Yeah.
We got a new
Yeah.
president now. Even if Biden runs, I mean he would get elected, but I mean even if he runs, it's like well, at least he's I don't know. At least he's not a Clinton or a Bush. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in favor of new as well because it's just the same things all the time.
we don't need to repeat the last 8 years prior again. It's like okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What? Well, Ben, was there? You said you had a couple links for us.
Yeah, I got a couple links I'm going to share with you guys. This one here, how to stop procrastinating on your goals by using the Seinfeld strategy. Sounds fancy, doesn't it?
I feel like I might have seen that before,
Yeah, it's
but I don't remember what it is, so do tell.
yeah. Here's the link for you. It's basically a comedian went up to Seinfeld at this club and he was asking him like, "Do you have any tips for a young comic trying to
Oh,
write?"
yeah.
And he was like, "Get a big year calendar on a big ones on the big sheet of paper and then cross out with a big red X the days where you write." And he's like, "Just don't break the chain." And
Yeah.
he's like, and the article suggests it's like that's the point is like do something where you're moving forward and working on stuff and have like the goal is write or if you're a painter paint or draw but it's like work on the thing and just don't break the chain, and that's the main momentum. It's like don't focus so much on like okay I've got to get this whole project done. It's like today's thing is just don't break the chain. And
Yeah. As long as you do a little something each day.
and that kind of leads into another article I was going to link, No More 0 Days, which is pretty. It's got a Reddit for it as well, but it's pretty popular on the internet for like especially workouts and stuff. Where people, the idea is that if you've got a day where the day is going to pass and you haven't done anything towards your goal, even if it's just doing one sit-up, doing something is still more net positive than doing nothing. So. It's like that's the way I like to look at it. Is like at the end of the day, are you sitting there going, "Well, that whole day was a waste"? It's like, well, it doesn't have to be. You could have done one thing towards your goal. So
Yeah. You could spend 15, 20 minutes at the end of the day just to get something in there.
now, but as long as I'm mentioning that one thing, going back to the Seinfeld strategy, is the guy also wrote an article about the difference between making taking action versus just making motion. So, like, if you're saying I'm going to write, that's one thing. It's like I'm writing. You can't just say I'm going to write 1,000 words a day. It's like, well, you might not reach that goal, but you're going to write. You have a defined goal versus, well, I'm going to come up with ideas to write about, and I'm going to, like, basically the whole like work. The goal is work out today, as opposed to read magazines about working out. Or so, it's as you're actually, I like to think of it as being proactive and actually having something going, as opposed to, thinking about and like, okay, like you can spend forever looking on the internet for things that'll make you more productive in timer apps and strategies. You could lose years of your life just looking into how to be more productive without actually being productive. So
yeah, I guess you need to define what will be taking you closer to your goal. Because with any stage of any project, there could be a research phase that you'll have to go through anyway. But if you're just constantly doing the research, then you're not going to ever get there. So,
well, like as art guys, it's like you've done the part where you have to do research and you have to do studies and learn how to do something. But then that's all stuff that nobody else ever sees. There's all this stuff that you do. Like, every time I sit down to start a new project, I'm just like, okay, maybe I'll try using some 3D stuff. Oh, I have to watch a whole bunch of tutorials on how to do this, and I have to learn this whole thing and do a bunch of stuff that isn't going to work. So, I don't know, man. What are your thoughts, Ian? I haven't asked you about this.
Really don't have too many thoughts on it. What were we talking about? I'm sorry, I was trying to look up. I was seeing if you guys wanted to do some trivia.
That sounds good. Nice way to round things off while Kyle's still here.
Yeah. But no, what were you talking about though? Sort of.
Seinfeld strategy.
Yeah, that and the zero.
Basically, you have to have a neighbor that's like Kramer, and who randomly barges in with crazy ideas, and then you'll be productive. I think that's what it was, right, Ben?
And then your worlds are colliding, and then you yada yada 6, and something with Newman. I don't know what, but I just know.
Well, you have to have an arch enemy.
Oh, okay. Is he going to steal the T-Rex DNA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ian. Do you have how do you determine if your day was productive? Do you have a strict regimen of stuff you need to get done, or do you have as long as I worked towards this thing, or do you cross off days on your calendar? Because I've started doing that.
Yeah. Well, actually, this week it was, since I've been shotgunning those Boy Meets World, it's actually been one of my least productive weeks in a while. So.
Are you preparing for Girl Meets World?
Oh, I don't know.
He doesn't.
When did that start up?
He just wants to see Topanga again.
What's that?
He just wants to see Topanga again.
She's still got a few years of decent,
What was that movie where she was like a cheerleader or something and like a trio of chicks or something? I don't know.
Who?
Yeah.
The chick that played Topanga or something?
Topanga?
She was
Danielle Fishel.
Yeah, she had, I don't know. There were a lot of TV stars that they're like, oh, I can have a career, and they do one movie, and then they're like, what happened to them? They were going to be the next big thing, and then they never got into another thing. I don't know. Yeah, Girl Meets World. I don't. I speaking of shotgunning shows, I was talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, is there a show that I would stay up all night every night watching if I found out it was suddenly on Netflix? And my immediate thought was, if they put the real Ghostbusters on there, I would watch that entire thing straight through. I would just take a nap, I would sleep in between seasons, but that's it. And I was thinking, that whole DVD collection came out in 2009, 2010, and why don't I own that? It's my favorite cartoon series. So
why don't you?
Because it's $100, 110.
Yeah.
So, but I've thought about it, and it's when I have when I have some stuff paid off, I'm gonna just buy that. There's no reason I shouldn't have that now. Because, like, I would watch it. That's a show I always watch if I see it somewhere on YouTube, on the internet.
Yeah, they need to do that with Batman series. With Adam West.
Well, I mean, that just recently got some legal stuff to where
I
they can
know,
put it
they're
out on
finally
DVD.
gonna get that out like in November or something, I think.
And they're supposed to be making toys in the whole, like, Adam West Batman stuff, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ben, I was gonna say you were gonna ask me about like what I consider to be like a productive day or whatever.
Yeah. How do you how do you check one off as productive or wasted?
Well, I mean, I would like to say that like if you set a goal for the day, if you wanted to, like if you're doing a project that's over a couple months where obviously you can't get the project done within a day, but you try to make goals, even then it's kind of hard to meet the goals. Like if you make a goal for that day and then you complete it, I do consider that to be a successful day. But I mean, just even like working most of the day where you really haven't like went on Tumblr or whatever and got distracted, if you're just worked really hard for that day and you were actually able to get stuff done, I would consider it to be successful, where you weren't like you didn't get too hung up on an issue on parts here and there of your project, you know. As long as you were slow but steady, you know, like a turtle.
Yeah, I think his thing for it was like, you know, since he's a comedian, his X will be like every day he writes his like a joke or something, you know. So he has to, whether he spends 20 minutes doing it a day or 12 hours, he'll still put an X down, and that still gets him closer to his goal than if he just does nothing that day. But I think that it is harder to sort of quantify.
It depends, because like
what you're doing.
It depends on like what you're working on and how each of those things, like a joke, that can be segmented into, you know, like that's something like smaller, you know.
Yeah,
Whereas,
yeah.
like if you're an artist working on a painting or whatever for like a few months, that's really hard to say what a goal is for that day, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've had that before where like you try and paint like a painting and you get like, okay, I've got this figure in the painting done, and then I've got or I'm on this stage of the painting, but it's like having, you know, the day's goal of like, okay, we're gonna finish this, and then you're like, okay, maybe tomorrow I'll finish it. And I don't know.
It's hard too, because you don't necessarily know how long a part of that is gonna do, especially if you're doing that type of thing that it's pretty new to you, you know.
Yeah, I think it's also like you can't really say my goal is to complete this painting. I mean, you can, but for him his goal was like, I want to be successful as a comedian. So doing anything that's going to get him there was part of his goal. But then
like, a part of the article says that like the goal is to just keep doing stuff daily and continually be producing, not just like do a thing and then get defeated, or like, okay, I sealed it up and take like 3 days off from doing anything, and you know, consistently be doing stuff.
Like for me, like say, hey, I want to be successful as a freelance designer, then I have to spend, you know, probably the initial part of the process would be like, you know, setting up website, figuring out maybe branding for my own personal company or whatever, figuring out advertising, and you know, I think it's just
going out and submitting stuff to people and talking to directors and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So anything along that route would be,
as opposed to like, okay,
X for that day.
Because when you're starting out a big project, sometimes you just want to see the end of it, and you don't realize it's like, no, sometimes a project can take months to years. And it's like, you have to give yourself little goals to go, I'm going to strive towards getting this part of it done. And I'm going to strive to work on this every day, not just when I'm feeling up to it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's something where you kind of have to, it's more so saying, oh, I want to be successful in this particular career or field or something like that, and then working towards that. 'Cause I think there's more you can do to say, hey, yeah, I did something working toward this goal today, as opposed to like, oh, you know, I want to do this one project, and then if you don't get to that project that day, I mean, I guess you should get to that project too, but that could be part of your end goal as well. But
I mean, I've sometimes overestimated. It's very easy to overestimate what you can do, So I try not to beat myself up if something takes a couple days to finish. But sometimes, like, you have to be realistic with the deadline approaching, and it's like, I have to get this thing done and out the door. So, Alright, so Ian, you got that trivia for us?
Yeah, I decided it'd be good this week to do some movie trivia, and then I figured we'd do this one that's called movie trivia from the 90s.
Sweet.
So, yeah, we'll just do the straight quiz this week, I guess, instead of doing like trivia facts or whatever.
Alright.
So we'll do, we'll just do the questions. Did you guys want to do it where it's a game like last week?
Which one of
Sure.
us wins?
Yeah.
I was the champion last week, so let's see if I can defend my title.
Yeah. You got that belt?
Well, no, Doug's
Might
got
get
the
a
belt,
belt.
but you want me to go get a hold of him and get the belt back? That could take a while.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. It was pretty good. In the first Scream, what was Stu's motive for the killings? And this isn't multiple choice, by the way.
Wait, what was the question?
It says, in the first Scream, what was Stu's motive for the killings?
Well, as I didn't see Scream,
Yeah, what are the choices? I never saw it.
There's no choices.
I'm
It's not
gonna
multiple choice.
I'm gonna say revenge.
I'm gonna say possessed by the ghost mask.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Who won?
Hold
What's
on.
Ian?
I'm
Ian's
trying
got to
to
answer it too.
Oh, okay.
You saw a Scream, didn't you, Ian?
I think I saw one of them. There's how many movies were there? Like, didn't they come out with the fourth Scream a few years ago?
They did one like last year or year before recently. I was trying to go back to the original Screams because I think they said it got kind of weird. Or like there's been a bunch of other movies like it, and they figured, well, let's try and bring this one back.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably say something like insanity or something. It was just crazy, you know. What did
Alright.
you say, Ben?
I
You
was
said
going
it's
for
revenge.
revenge. Revenge.
Kyle said some kind of like
Possessed by the
mask
ghost mask.
Okay, well, let's see what it was. It said we were all wrong. It said peer pressure.
Oh,
Peer pressure.
it
That's
was
lame.
like killing like smoking. You start once, you just can't stop.
Yeah, that's.
Once you get hooked.
Remember something about that?
That's a really stupid reason to base your movie on.
Yeah. Okay, question 2.
How do you get peer pressured into being a serial killer? I
don't know.
Do you hang out with Freddy and Jason? They're like, come on, sissy, just do it once. Come on, all the cool kids are killing people.
Yep.
I think it was something like, I don't know, didn't they like run someone over or something, and then they wanted them to put them out of their misery or something like that?
I have no idea.
I don't know. The second one is, how fast did the bus in the movie Speed need to go in order to not blow up?
50 miles per hour?
Yeah, it's like 50 miles per hour.
It's like 50 miles per hour.
I think it has to stay above 50.
Yeah, and if it goes to 88 miles per hour, it goes back in time.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 55.
Oh, well. You can say that as your answer.
Alright,
Yeah, I'm
well,
gonna say
you
that.
say 55, and Kyle and I are going to go with 50. I'm pretty sure it's 50.
Okay.
It's going to be like 52.
No, this isn't
you
like
guys-
Price is Right answers.
No, you guys were right. The speedometer could not go below 50 miles per hour.
Yeah!
So you guys have one.
Alright.
Next question. What event was the interview of the natural-born killer, Mickey, to be held during?
Wait, what? Say it again?
What event was the interview of the natural-born killer, Mickey, to be held during? Did you ever watch that movie?
No.
Natural Born Killers?
I think it's in my queue.
I didn't really care for it because it was just a little too weird for me. Like, I don't know. I had a lot of trouble following it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. I never saw that either. I'm gonna say maybe just like an election or something.
Presidential election.
I'm gonna say it was during some handoff of power.
High school
can't-
prom.
Like there was some big event going, and when they interview him, it was a diversion or something. I'm gonna say I haven't seen that movie in like 10, 20 years. So
We were all totally wrong. It was the Super Bowl.
what? No. Oh well.
Uh-huh. Okay. Who ordered the code red in A Few Good Men?
The Mountain Dew.
A Few Good Men.
Did you ever see that movie?
I don't believe I did.
I feel like I saw part of it on TV once.
Yeah, I've seen clips from it, but I haven't. Few Good Men. That's I know there's some famous leading man of the days. I cannot. Kevin
I'm
Kline.
gonna pass on it.
Maybe Kevin Costner. I'm gonna go with. Well, wait. Should I go for Costner or Kline? Maybe Costner. Kevin Costner. How about that?
Okay.
I love how we're taking a quiz on movies none of us have ever seen.
Are you gonna try to say an answer, or are you just gonna say I don't know too?
I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase. Oh yeah. Clone. We were all wrong. I don't think you didn't have to do an actor. You had to just do the character.
Oh yeah.
It's Colonial Nathan P. Jessup. You can't handle the truth.
Oh, well, gee. If all I had to do was name the character from this movie I never saw instead of an actor from it, I totally would have been aces, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so no points on that one. Okay. What was the print left on the car in the boat in the movie Titanic?
What was the-
Handprint.
Yeah, what was the print left on the car in the boat? Was there a car on the boat?
Yeah, there was that automobile where they were getting it on, and like the hand gets all steamy and streaked.
Right. So you guys are saying a handprint?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just go with you guys, so I even have a point. I'm sure you guys are probably right. Yeah, it was a handprint.
Near.
So you guys got two.
Actually, that reminds me, Kyle. Have you heard First and the Gimme Gimme's new album?
I've not heard it yet.
It's on Spotify.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I got an alert from Spotify about it, so it's got a lot of ballads.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, here's this one I know off the bat I'm not even gonna be able to answer. What does Michelle remember the formula for in Rami and Michelle's high school reunion?
Yep, never saw that one.
Never saw that one.
Formula for, I don't know.
I'm gonna say the perfect martini. As I was thinking cold fusion or perfect macaroni and cheese, I'm just gonna go with perfect martini, because that would be worth knowing.
Yeah.
It was. So I guess I'll say where we didn't get that one. It was Post-it glue.
It was what?
Post-it glue.
Oh.
Boy, this quiz, Ian.
I'll be right back.
This quiz really proves how little of the movies from the 90s we watched.
No, I looked on the list. There are popular ones on here.
Yeah.
But was
Oh,
did Kyle say he had a?
He said he'd be right back. So
Okay.
I might as well.
I'll read the second one the next one so you could think about it. This one is another Scream one. Who did Sydney say would play her in Scream 2?
Oh boy, I don't know. Now, you remember how I told you I got this golf magazine sent to me for some reason, like subscription?
Yeah.
Well, after that ran out, I started getting issues of Rolling Stone sent to me. And, like, so I had one of them a while ago, and then the second one is the one with Neil Patrick Harris, where he's naked except for a bow tie and a hat over his junk.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so the cover, every time I look over, the magazine's just looking at me. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, no, NPH, stop looking at me like that. You're judging me. I don't know.
I swear that painting is watching me.
It's looking at me.
Oh.
I don't know. Neil Patrick Harris, man. He's playing Hedwig in the Angry Inch. That's... You know, it's interesting. I was reading the article, and he was talking about, like, when he goes down the street, he'll be, you know, people will, like, greet him for his character of Barney or some of his other roles. So he's kind of like that guy Stifler, being known for Stifler, and he's like, I'm married to a dude with two babies. Okay, frat boys, hey. I don't know. And then it also had an interview, it had an article about Minecraft and Notch and talking about Mojang. And it was kind of interesting. Like stuff I hadn't heard, you know. Talked about his parents and his dad's suicide and like what they're planning on doing with the company over the next 10 years. That he's like, if we, you know, the goal is if we don't make any money, well, you know, we're giving ourselves 10 years and hopefully we'll make more money in the future. But if not, well, it was a fun ride. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Mojang, Ian?
Don't really have any.
You
on
don't?
that.
I mean,
So
you know-
apparently I had too much to drink before we started this thing.
Oh, well.
I've already had to
Yeah,
go
I'm-
pee like twice.
Well, that's why you should have a bottle next to you during the show.
I guess so. Nasty.
That's why he's been muting it.
Yeah, I'm like, later.
I
Well,
can't.
would you rather he leave it on?
Yeah.
I can't stop once it starts. It stays.
Yep.
What are you, a camel?
Yeah.
So, Scream 2, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
these next two questions they're about Scream 2. I'll read the one to Kyle here. Who did Sydney say would play her in Scream 2?
I never saw that one either.
I'm guessing Sydney, is that supposed to be the actor? The actress or whatever
I'm guessing
they're
it's.
talking about?
Do
Do you want me to I'll just skip that one.
Yeah.
None of us, we can't even take a guess and be close to right.
What did you say?
Can't
Spaz
even
out
take a
there.
joke guess on that and be close to right. My cat just ran past me, so.
It was the answer was Tori Spelling.
Oh.
Ah.
Okay.
The next
The
question.
relevance that has on the answer.
The next question is, whose head did Courtney Cox say was on her body in Scream 2?
David
Dennis
Arquette.
Rodman? I have no idea.
Okay. It's obvious that we're all going to be the same on that one. It was Jennifer Aniston. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I didn't
How-
I didn't get up and caught up.
I
in
don't
all
understand.
the stuff, you know. No, I guess
I'm even-
Jennifer Aniston's head got cut off and it landed in her lap or something, I think.
Oh, they were both in that movie, so it was like a friends
Oh.
reunion.
Yeah.
More like
I
dead
guess-
union. Yeah, right.
This next one will be a little bit easier, I think. What was the name of Mila Jovovic's character in The Fifth Element?
Lilu.
Neither
was
Dallas.
What?
Lilu?
Lilu and Stitch.
Lilu Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah, we all got that. I got that right. I was gonna go with what you guys said. Was the Lilu.
Just copying off of our answers.
Well, no, I
Oh,
didn't.
man.
Well, you guys said it, and then I was like, yeah, that is
Yeah,
right.
with a question like that, it's hard to be like, oh, we all have a different
man.
answer.
Ben
How
has
convenient
3,
is that?
Kyle has 3. What?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Said, how convenient
How
is that?
convenient.
He said.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, when I enthusiastically raise my hand and go, I know the answer, then it's like suddenly everybody has the answer. So I'm just going to wait and back and play my cards, man.
Well, I mean, we could, if we wanted it to be like really, like a real game. If we were betting money, we could alternate the, like the who goes first and who goes last, for each
Oh
question.
yeah, there's that.
Nah, that's
a
alright.
buzzer system.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Next one is in Jumanji, a stampede is released. What is the slowest animal? I remember seeing that movie. It's been a while though.
Wait, so what was the second part of the question? The stampede was what?
It says in Jumanji, a stampede is released. What is the slowest animal?
Robin Williams.
I'm gonna go with a turtle because I picture it for a while. I was like, oh, I'm gonna see the little monkey be the last one trailing after the fast animals, but it's like, no, they'd have a little turtle going, I'm gonna get you, gonna go. Turtle.
I might have to say, wasn't it like an elephant?
Maybe, I don't know.
I know there's an elephant
I
in it.
haven't really-
I don't know what was the slowest.
I'm gonna say elephant.
It's been
What
too
did you
long,
say,
man.
Ben? A turtle?
Yeah, I want to see a turtle.
What about you, Kyle?
So, you'll be.
I'm gonna go with
Mrs. Doubtfire.
yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire.
You know they're making a sequel to Mrs.
A
They're making a
rhinoceros.
sequel to Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard about that. That
I don't
sounds.
know.
What is that even going to be about?
Well, like, that's my response is like, how is that going to work? Because it's not like Big Mama's house. Are they going to have him solve a crime? I guess I could get behind that.
Yeah. By the way, Kyle, you actually were right.
It was a rhinoceros.
Yeah, I was pretty close with the elephant.
What?
Yeah, rhinoceros.
Wow.
Yeah.
Score
What?
one for me.
Yeah, you won. He's in the lead now.
That was a good guess
Well, now we're going to have to take this down a peg.
there.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to have to go watch Scream, I guess, to get the rest of the answers. I mean,
Okay. This one's about Wayne's World. Who should we have go first and last on this one? Because this one might be pretty easy.
we probably all know it. We've all seen Wayne's World, right?
I've seen
Yeah.
it, but it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while for me, but probably, I don't know. I think it's been within the last, couple of years, so I should know it.
It said, who was the sponsor for the TV show Wayne's World?
Who was responsible for the TV show Wayne's World?
Who was
The sponsor.
who was the
Oh, the
sponsor?
sponsor.
Guessing wasn't that like a TV show in the movie or whatever?
Yeah, I think they were on public access or something.
Well, they had a number of sponsors, because they had that thing with the Flowbee trying to suck their hair out during the show, and then later, the sponsors threatened to leave if they insulted them, like, this dude's a tool. So the only one I can remember is Floby, so I'll say Floby.
Floby.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with Ben.
You're going with what?
I'm gonna go with Ben.
You go with Ben.
No, you had to go with something better. Come on now.
I
Because remember,
have to go
there was that guy that he kept writing stuff on the cue cards as he gave him, like, this guy's a total tool, and insulting the sponsors.
Let me go with Speed Stick.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, then there was that whole bit where, like, they were dressing up. They're like, people only do things because they make money, and that's just sad. And he was drinking a Coke. I don't know.
Okay, well maybe.
What's
I'll
your
go with
answer,
Coke.
Ian?
I'll just go with Coke.
Okay.
What was the
Okay.
answer?
Okay, let's see what. We were all wrong on that. It was Noah's Arcade.
Oh,
That was
the
arcade.
arcade. Oh man, should have known that one.
Yeah, you should
I'll
have.
never beat Kyle at this pace.
Yep.
No. Oh no! Come on. What's with the Scream questions, man? How old
What?
was
Man,
Deputy
this should just be the
Dewey in
Scream
first-
quiz.
Yeah. It's an extreme. That was who was. How old was the Deputy Dewey in the first Scream?
Deputy Dewey.
Yes, Deputy Dewey. I'm Deputy Dewey.
I'm gonna say 18 because I have no idea. But if they're asking how old he got, I'm gonna say 18.
Wait, so what was the question again?
How old was Deputy Dewey in the first Scream?
24.
Okay. 24.
We're all just
18,
pulling numbers out of our butts.
Well, I'm trying to remember if I even know what he's looked like, so I can sort of peg an age. I don't know. I'll go with something like 50, I guess. I don't know.
Well, let's find out which one of us is closest. How about that?
Yeah. That's okay. I said 50. Okay. It looks like. Well, if we're gonna go by closest, then it looks like Kyle would be the winner.
What was the...
It says 25, and the quote is, "I'm 25 years old. I was 24 for a whole year."
What?
Yeah.
Well, there we
It
go.
was your suggestion too to go by who's closer.
Well,
so-
I'd rather somebody get that one than nobody, because we're all just sitting there going, shot in the dark.
yeah.
It's like asking us anything about Twilight, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably know more about the characters and story of Twilight than I know about Scream. That says something.
Yeah. Here's this next one is about the Titanic again. Is who did Leonardo DiCaprio play in the movie Titanic?
Jeez.
So I'm guessing they're looking for a name.
The character
The
name.
character.
I know.
Yeah.
I know the name.
You know the name? Do you
I'm
want
gonna
us
wait
to
till
say?
you guys give the answer.
I don't know the
I'm
name.
gonna wait
so
for you
can
guys
get
to
this
go
one done.
first.
I don't know the name either.
Deputy Dewey.
Jack Dawson.
Oh, there you go.
Does that? Are we get? Do we get to?
I think that
Go
I think
with
that for
Ben.
questions like that, whoever says it first, especially since I admit I
Yeah.
don't know it.
Well, both of you guys admitted you didn't know it,
Yeah.
and I
So-
told
so
you
Ben
I
gets
admitted I
out.
knew it.
Okay, I'll give that one to Ben.
As long as I'm right. As long as I got it right, I
You were
believe it's
right.
Dawson. Okay, because I know they referred her as Rose Dawson, and I know Jack was the character, so. And she changed her name to be after.
Okay, this one might be.
Now I'm revealing I've seen too much Titanic.
Yeah. Good job, Ben. Who was the little bombshell that played Selena in the Selena biopic?
Um,
Wait, say it again. Who was what?
Who was the Latin bombshell that played Selena in the Selena biopic?
Oh, jeez. I have it narrowed down to like 2 people.
Well, I'm
I remember
I'm
seeing
gonna
that movie pretty much every year in Spanish class, and I can't even remember.
I'm gonna
But
say Jennifer Lopez. But I
me
feel like
too.
my
Just
other
because she's the
choice.
only Hispanic woman we all know.
Yeah.
Because
I
we're
was
all
gonna say
horrible,
Salma
horrible
Hayek as
racists.
well.
No,
Salma
no, no.
Hayek as
That's the thing. Is like I like Selma Hayek, and I would recognize her if I saw her in the role. So I'm gonna say no. So
well. I would. I accidentally clicked on it before, so I'm gonna just give the points to you guys, because I do try to make sure I make these games fair. So yeah, you guys were both right. It was Jennifer Lopez.
ah,
Yeah, I would have.
yay
I
us.
probably would have gone along with you guys anyways, but since I accidentally saw it, I'll just give it to you guys to be fair.
Hooray.
Yeah. So.
Yay! I still need to beat Kyle.
Yeah.
What's the score?
Hello, Katie. The cat wants to win too. She's like, it was J-Lo. She's
Yeah,
still Jenny from the block.
I'm doing really bad. Ben has 5, I have 2, and you, Kyle, have 6.
Ah.
Okay, this one might be easy. What was Adam Sandler's occupation in Big Daddy?
Oh, I know. He worked in a toll booth on the highway.
Toll booth on the highway.
I don't remember. I mean, I guess I'll
think
just
you were
go
right.
with Kyle's answer. Because I wasn't it like he was having like the whole point of that movie was to have him grow up and like get a job and like do something with his life. So
Yeah, he like won a
I'm gonna
bunch of
just side
money
with- I'm gonna,
from a lawsuit, so he only had to
Yeah.
work like 1 day a week at a toll booth, just to
Yeah.
have something to do or something like that. I don't know.
But then at the end, he has a suitcase and he had a bunch of kids, and then he met that was fine with that chick at the end. Oh hey, where's the guy with the 5-year plan? Oh, guess this is a 10-year plan. But yeah, I'll go with toll booth because I don't know.
Let's see what that was. Yeah, it was. We were right then. If we're gonna all go with Kyle, it was a toll booth worker.
Congratulations.
Yay!
Oh, toll booth Willie.
Yeah, toll booth Willie. Yeah, we'll come up if we maybe we start doing trivia's maybe next
Maybe
time
they shouldn't all be
we'll
about
have it
movies we
do-
haven't seen.
No, we'll do it where like each person has to answer a question for themselves, and then
So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Or 1, 2, 3, 3,
And
2,
if they
1.
get it wrong, then someone can steal their answer.
right. That would be a
And
more
I'm sure
strict way of doing
that's
it.
when it'll. And I'm sure by then that test will be all like multiple choice instead of just fill in the blank. Because fill in the blank is just, so what was Bob's last name? Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Uh,
So,
I'll go through my list and try to get more multiple choice ones because yeah, those are easier. This next one is what is the name of Matt Dillon's band in Singles, their anthem song?
Hmm.
Well, I guess this is a
Um,
two-part question. They're asking what's the name of the band in Singles and what was their anthem song?
Wild Stallions. We God gave rock and roll to you. I have no idea what this one could be. Have either of you seen it?
No,
No,
I don't
I
think
remember
so.
my mom was just big into that movie. Singles.
Did she like Urban Cowboy?
I don't know. I forget. I know she liked that movie Spinal Tap or whatever.
This is Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Have you seen This Is Spinal Tape?
No.
It's tape that has spines on it, and it's spinal tape.
Are we all gonna pass on this one?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll give the answer to that. Uh, it was Citizen Dick. Touch me, I'm Dick.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's not real. You're
That's
making
real,
that
dude.
up.
Oh,
Citizen Dick. That sounds like a film you would have rented, Ian. From the behind that curtain desk, you know.
oh, gee.
You know what I'm saying?
Here we go. This
So-
is an Office Space one.
All right. I can recite the
We
whole
all-
movie
we
for
all
you
saw the
if you'd
Office
like.
Space, right?
Yes.
What were you saying, Ben?
I can recite the whole movie for you if you'd like. Okay, it starts off.
Okay. Well. Okay, so I've seen it. When was the last time you've seen it, Kyle?
About 2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago. I've seen it maybe like about a year or so ago,
Yeah.
and Ben knows it pretty well. I'll let Ben go last.
All right.
All right.
I'll let you go, Kyle. In the movie Office Space, what item did Peter pull from the rubble?
Was it the stapler?
I'll make it have to be a little bit more specific than that.
The red stapler?
Okay, of course I'm gonna go with the same, and then we'll just give it all to everybody.
Well, we gotta see if Ben
Oh,
knows.
gee.
We're just assuming he knows.
Well, I'm gonna go with the melted red swing line stapler.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
Yay! I've seen a movie. Yay! I retained information from said movie when I could have learned something about politics.
Okay, this one's an Independence Day question.
Welcome to Earth.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've seen that one. What about you, Ben?
It's been a while, a few years.
Okay. In Independence Day, what does Will Smith yell as he blasts off in the spaceship?
Oh,
I know
man.
the answer, I believe.
Did you say you have an answer?
I believe I know one, but I'm gonna wait for you guys first.
I remember him shouting it, but I just can't put my tongue on it. Man.
I hope you don't. You. How about you, Kyle?
Oh, man. I might have to pass. I remember something, but I'm not. It's not culminating in my brain.
I have got to get me one of these.
Oh. Good job. Good job.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it to Ben.
Did I? Am I correct there?
Hold on. Yeah, you were right. I'll give it to Ben.
Woohoo! Now we're tied, aren't we?
Yeah, you and him are tied on like half of your guys' scores. I'm at 4.
Alright.
All right. Well, on that note, I probably need to head out.
Okay, well, we're at question 18.
Okay. Out of how many?
Go to 20.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, so 3 more,
Name the champion.
or 2 more actually.
Or about
Who
Scream.
played Julie's best friend in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yeah, crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Pass.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh,
Probably not the answer, but
Jennifer. Well, wasn't she Sarah Michelle Gellar?
I don't know because I never saw it.
I never saw that.
I'll say Sarah. Then. What are you gonna go with, Ben?
I have no idea, so I'm just gonna say no.
Okay, so you're passing. You're gonna say Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh. What? It just says Brandy.
Oh,
What?
the singer
Not
Brandy.
even an actor, but character. Oh, maybe.
I think it was her.
Yeah. So I guess we were all wrong.
Okay.
On that one.
Yeah.
Once we're done, I'll give you guys a source for this, just so you guys know I'm not cheating or anything.
In case we want to take it again.
Yeah. What movie were the passengers on the plane in Executive Decision watching?
I never saw that one either.
Live. Yeah, no idea.
I don't know. We'll just. Do you want to? That was question 20. Do you guys? I have no idea either. I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll just pick a movie. The Lion King.
Oh.
Debbie Does Dallas.
It's a good airplane movie.
Well, usually, I try to put a little bit thought into this. I mean, usually you see in movies, like when they're watching a movie, a lot of times it's like an older type movie, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure it would have relevance to like the story if I knew anything about the story. Kind of like in
Yeah.
Con Air when they're dancing to Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'll say Home Alone.
why not?
Yeah. Okay, it was Born to Be Wild.
Never would have guessed that.
Okay then.
So I technically lost, but you and Ben are tied at 8. So we gotta break this.
Tiebreaker.
Yeah. Gotta go until you win. Who pulls Wayne over in Wayne's World?
Chris Farley.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chris Farley. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
Actually, they accepted 2 answers. It was Robert Patrick or T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that now, where he screams, "Ah!" You seen this kid?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's not a Scream movie, but it's a Friday the 13th movie. Who's the original killer in Friday the 13th?
Oh, I know this one.
Who's the original killer?
Yeah.
Like the name of like Jason Voorhees or whatever?
Oh.
The name of the original
I'll
killer,
give you guys.
Kyle.
I'll give you
no,
guys
no,
a
no, no,
hint.
no, no, no. No, don't. I know the answer.
What? Oh, you know the answer?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I could
Jason's
give you
mom.
who.
Ah. Well, there you go
Jason's
then.
mom has got it murdered on.
I've only seen like the
Yep.
one of the really later ones,
The,
Jason
the
in New York or
remakes.
whatever. I don't know.
Okay, well, I was
Jason
Takes
Takes
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Yeah, so that's the only one I've seen.
You need to see Jason X, Kyle. You'd like that one.
I know, I probably
It's
would.
Jason in space, space,
Yeah.
space, space. It's so stupid. It's great.
Yeah, Leprechaun in space.
Well, there's two leprechauns. Well, there's two leprechauns in the hood, and then there was Leprechaun in
Yeah.
space. But
Yeah.
Jason in space is funny.
Yeah. Well, I
But
was
yeah,
gonna give you
it was
guys.
Jason's mom. I can't remember what her first name was though.
No, you don't have to give her the first name. I was gonna try to give you guys the hint of it wasn't Jason because he didn't come in until the sequel. So, but you guys were both correct. If you want to, I mean, what do you guys think? Should I
What was the
give it to
answer?
just Ben? It was Jason's mom. That's what
Oh.
you were gonna go
Well,
with.
I
too.
was wrong because I said Jason Voorhees,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
Ben was
Yeah.
correct.
Ben won again.
I
Yeah.
am the champion, my friend. Ba-da-dum. Yeah,
Alrighty
you need
then.
to see Jason X.
Good job,
Of
Ben.
the ones I've seen, that's my favorite. So
Yeah. I'll have to check
Yeah,
it
you
out.
You gonna hold up your? You don't have a belt, but you could always hold up your cat there.
yeah, and then
Hold
she
up
bite
one
me, no
paw.
thanks.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Bow-down-down-down-down-down-down.
Alrighty. Well, I will have to talk to you guys next time. Good job, Ben. Well
It's good to
played.
have you on, Kyle.
Yes. Latris on the
You have
Menjay.
yourself an
What?
alright. You have yourself a nice evening then.
Alright, you too.
Yeah, we'll exit out of the podcast later after you leave since you're in a rush. Then.
Alright. I'll talk to you guys
Yeah,
later.
We'll just sit and talk about you. It's okay.
Okay, cool. Bye bye.
See you later.
Have a good one. All right.
Yeah.
So that you want to give me the link for the trivia, and then I think we can say goodnight to the audience because it's been a good long show.
See what time it is. It's 7:15. So, yeah, we've done about a good 2 hours.
We've done 2 hours. I mean, it's not like our record almost 4-hour shows before. Which the next time we have Doug on, I'm sure it'll go to that.
Oh yeah. Well, I was thinking about maybe we'll have my friend on with Doug, and then you have 4 people, man. That'll go really long.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Cause yeah, it's like you said before. When you have like 4 or more people, the conversations just branch everywhere. You know.
Yeah, and we start talking about old school Nickelodeon, and then politics, then movies that are coming out. So.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, anyway, I guess that about wraps up this episode, folks. For all you wonderful people tuning in, that have watched this show to the end, the secret word is Farfignugan. So, thanks for tuning in. Did you have anything you want to add to the show before we tune out, Ian?
To add to the show, well, I forgot to say before he left. I'm sure we'll talk to him before September, but I was gonna say, wish him good luck with the wedding and stuff. At least like the planning and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I want to thank Kyle for coming on the show because it doesn't have to be here. He's got all kinds of stuff. He's got a job and he's got a wedding to deal with, and wedding stuff, man. It's not something I want to be thinking about right now. I'll tell you that much. So
Yeah. Well,
But yeah,
maybe next week
it's always
we'll
good to have Kyle on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we definitely can't have him on like every week, that's for sure. But yeah, maybe next week we'll have Doug on again, and I'll have my friend come on, and we'll do like a super trivia thing or something maybe. If you want,
or maybe it would be
we
like
could-
Okay.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say,
like
if we pick a theme before the show, and then like if you wanted to, maybe you could host it if you wanted to have like ask questions, or you could come up with some trivia if you wanted to have some questions. You know, like if you knew specific source that you wanted to do. You know. But
yeah, I was gonna say like, what like the you're like we can have all four of us on and it'd be like what, the dating game. Now who's your ideal man? Oh man, I saw a thing where apparently this dating show in Turkey, this guy confessed to killing his ex-wife or something, and it's like, whoa, that's not something you want to. I can just imagine the she's like, so tell be like, tell me some secret about you we don't know, and it's like, well, I was in prison for killing my ex-wife, and then some other person like, whoa, I don't think I want to take you out on a date now. Am I required? I don't know.
yeah, I think I heard something about that, and then I thought there was, I forget. I thought there was some other news about some kind of dating thing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, so without further ado, I think it's time for us to say goodnight. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all on the other side.
Peace.
To find out more, visit NoRightsProductions.com. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NoRights. And hey, why don't you check out my Tumblr at NoRights.tumblr.com.